Good morrow and welcome to Trip Tips. Who is she? To really understand a place, one should really look at their lore. It's the stories that children grew up with and helped shape. And everywhere has lore, and most places have a weeping woman story. Someone looking for a lost lover of some sort. And the Shoals is no exception. So today we're going to talk about...
The sharp teeth!
Let it go, Valentine.
It's really they.
Let it go. I'll let you choose the next one.
Let me choose? Why you?
So today we're going to talk about who is the Shoals pirate bride ghost? Now before I begin, I want to point out that lore is very fluid. It ebbs and flows, has currents and tides, and its origins are usually impossible to trace. I will relate the versions that I have come across, but there are bound to be more. So if you know any unrepresented version, come on and let me know. As for us, let's begin with the version that I started out with, the one that I was introduced to. The oldest written version from Among the Isles of Shoals in 1873 by Celia Thaxter. Celia found an article in the newspaper 40 years before the book was written about a man who went to live with a fisherman's family on Star Island in 1826. His health was failing, and he figured Star would help him, as people believed the sea air was a cure from a bustling Maine. On one still morning, the man traveled to the cliffs of Appledore Island, presumably around Devil's Glen, and he stared into the water when he was aware of a figure standing near him. He turned to see a woman wrapped in a dark sea cloak and light hair flowing loosely down her shoulders. Fair as a lily, the man called her, staring unmoving into the ocean. The man assumed she was a nearby inhabitant, waiting for a lover or a fishing boat, so he asked her, "Well, my pretty maiden, do you see anything of him?" The woman turned to the man with melancholy eyes and said quietly, "He will come again." She then disappeared over a jutting rock. The man returned to Star to find that no one matched the woman's description, so he was determined to find her again. The wind was blowing hard, but the man made it back to Appledore. He didn't see her, but he heard her voice in the wind. He will come again. The man returned many times to see the woman, watching her wait in the winds and storm, all weather moving around her, her footprints making no noise. The man got closer to the woman with every visit, and one day he probably got rather close or realized the humanity of who she used to be. Either way, a sudden feeling of fear overcame him and he vowed never to return. He returned to Star to tell his fisherman friend about the woman, but he seemed to already know, since he had seen her too.
She's been there for years!
He said that at the time of the first settlement, these islands were infested by pirates, Blackbeard being the most notorious. One of Blackbeard's friends, Captain Scott, buried immense treasure out on the shoals, his separate from the others. He also left something else, a maiden. She was forced to swear to guard the treasure with horrible rites, that until his return, if it were not till the day of judgment, she would guard it from the search of all mortals. So, she still paces the shoals today. Celia also mentions how she screams like a banshee during storms.
That's it, right? End of story.
Valentine. Far from it, actually. The story was passed via mouth far before it was ever written down, as said by the man in the account. I started with this story because it's the only ghost story of her I know in lore. However, there are different versions of her backstory, description, origin, and so I will go in order of account in order to have some sort of organization. Other islands are involved, such as White Island. In one version from 1911, the pirate Quelch leaves a maiden in a sea cloak to look after his treasure. In 1904, another account says she was Blackbeard's bride and repeated he will come back instead of come again. Fast forward to 1951, referencing a source from 20 years prior, where Blackbeard is again mentioned to have left his gold. However, names are in this account. It's said that Blackbeard's lieutenant, Sandy Gordon, left his treasure and wife, Martha, on White Island. What also distinguishes this? She is mentioned to be in white, and not a sea cloak. In 1965, Rutledge published different versions, all either with the bride or with the sea cloak. The earlier ones mentioned Blackbeard, but later accounts changed to Captain Scott, one of Blackbeard's men. The burials changed too. Changes from Smutty Nose to a honeymoon on Smutty Nose and treasure on Smutty Nose and Londoners. Also, she is mentioned again at white. Even Celia mentioned that someone might have seen her, or some ancient spirit on Duck Island. What these stories agree on is that she was left on the shoals around 1720, as Blackbeard died in 1718, and she died in 1735. Stories about who is referred to as Blackbeard's bride developed, and a children's book was written in 1992, reinforcing Celia's descriptions. However, the spirit was on Smutty Nose of the book, as described by Rutledge. In a Haunted New Hampshire book from 2006, he will come back as the chant again, and the story happens on Lunging Island. The island family also resurfaced an old name, Martha, with the last name of Herring. This woman was also Blackbeard's 13th, 14th, or 15th wife. Two other written accounts refer to her as the Lady Ghost from Lunging, saying he will return, and Blackbeard's wife on White Island looking for her baby.
God, make up your mind already.
So why all these changes? Well, have you ever played telephone? The 2019 Star Island historian Ann Beattie gives us some explanations. Apparently, early versions of the story have her as Captain Kidd's wife, which changed to Blackbeard, Captain Scott, either, and just Blackbeard once more. He Will Come Again had already been used in the form of He Will Come Back by the staff of the Appledore House before moving to Star, and in use by 1915 as a chant by the people of Star Island. Another possibility is that in early versions of the story, Blackbeard was the one who said, "I will come back," and the story moderated in suit. Maybe even back was used first, but going off of records, this seems to be possible. As for the pirate, Beattie believes that it changed to Blackbeard because he's a juicier pirate, if you will. Now, the Quelch story on White and Blackbeard's wife were two separate stories that seemed to combine over time. So the lady in white and Sea Cloak became the same. Beattie says that this is due to misinformation on cruise boats, which could be one possible solution. Another is people confusing the stories on their own, or it's the same story that's separated and is reforming again. Ooh, I love this! Maybe her name is Martha Herring, or something like Annie or Annabelle. We'll never know for sure, but that's the beauty of it. What came first? Lady in White, or the Sea Cloak, Captain Kidd, or Blackbeard? Back or come again? But here's a short summary. Around 1720, a pirate, maybe Blackbeard, buried treasure on one, most, or all the islands, and left his 13th, 14th, or 15th wife to guard it, and most likely in a sea cloak for warmth or in white. She, maybe Martha Herring or something like Annie, died in 1735, and she looks out for her missing pirate lover, saying he will come again to this very day. Or does she? We'll never know. A game of telephone will prevent us. But today, she is referred to as the White Lady by conferees and Pelicans on Star Island. But I think we can both agree to color Blackbeard's bride. Just another step in our game of telephone.
Okay, Trip. I'm done with this. You've had your fun.
I said I'd let you choose the next one.
No! I let you choose. That's it. Oops. Just a second. That's a tiny man. That's a girl again. That's better.
What are you?
I am Veyman, shapeshifter, old as time, and this is my domain, and I've had about enough of you. And you can't kill me, save for one thing.
What?
Now why would I tell you that? Get back here, I'm not that hungry. Run then. I'll be here. I can wait.
Thanks for joining me on Trip Tips. Good eating.
Veyman, where are you? What new form can't you do? Veyman, don't hurt me. Please stay under that old tree.
Wow, he's really taking a long time.